welcome to episode 41. All aboard, welcome aboard. This is How Not to Game with Kelly Jack. I'm Kelly Jack, the gaming host here on the Diver Rex channel, or the gaming identity, I should say. And it is time to start doing some work on the game further in cleaning up these many spots that I have that are just ugly as sin as far as what's, there. And it is time to start thinking about relocation of some lines. Let me take and rotate it back to the traditional north view that we've been using. North is up here in the upper right of the corner. This is the Semi-Trans sessions, and the game is Semi-Trans. It's a free game on Steam. You can play along. Unfortunately, I don't have the map available for a download. I don't know where to put it up to you to download off of, and I don't have the money to set up that kind of stuff anyway. For those wondering, we are running some new trains that were dispatched out last system. You can see one of them there moving across the line. Quite a bit faster train, but it's going through the horseshoes, which is not a fast speed layout. And it might be time to start considering a different layout for the horseshoes so that they can get some speed built up. Another thing it might be time to start considering is eliminating the road stop, the Springmouth Coal Mine Yard stop, which is actually the High Ridge stop. And let's go ahead and rename that. This is actually, and we're going to rename the whole bloody thing because it's a stop, a halt. So what we're going to call this is the High Ridge. The High Ridge halts because it's double halt. It's a halt on the rail and a halt on the road. The system has cleaned up quite a bit compared to what it was before. We still have a lot of chaos zones to deal with, and that's something to start considering. How to fix, how to clean up. I mean, I could consolidate these lines together into one with a single passing siding in here, and I am considering that. Yes. I'm also considering quite a few other things to take and do, to take and clear up the lines a little bit more and try to make everything a lot better. Another thing I'm thinking about, because it is a strong need, is to take and do a cut here and eliminate this rise, which would allow a much better dispatch out or much better speeds right along here. So to do a cut, you got to first do a detour route. So what we're going to do is what's called, in rail terms, a shoe fly that will go over and still utilize this zone. That lets us then take out the interior zone and clean up the rail that way. Now we can go through and do the cut. The initial cut is always made by just doing a dig. Straight down, don't worry about sloping until after you get the rails in. Relay the rail through there like that. Get a new signal. We're going to put him all the way there for a double signal. So that he only halts here if he needs to for a dispatch that's going to utilize that line. Shouldn't be many dispatches utilizing this line. Take out the shoe fly because we don't need it anymore, and wound up not needing it, but now we've got a much cleaner setup. Grab the sloping tool, and we will use him to make it a more natural looking appearance, a more embankmented rather than a true cut. Another thing I'm thinking about doing is removing the Twin Manors depot or the cement depot. One of the two really should go bye-bye. Cement Depot is to a better spot. Twin Manors, while it does service these areas out here, it could be cleaned up a little bit better too. All right. Still looking things over good and trying to figure out how to take and do things the best way. And sometimes those best ways may not be the way everybody thinks we should be doing things. Another thing that I'm looking at is which vehicles are out there on the rails, how much they're hauling, and it might be time for some upgrades on, especially for Tanner Taconite, which trains are servicing that and which carts they're hauling on. It might be time to start thinking about those more powerful engine setups. Because while that was a good setup for then, it's just not going to move enough. And if we look at Tanner Taconites, we've always got freight waiting. So a bigger train and some holding space may be what we need to do. Well, now we've done our yakety yak. This is the Devil's Towers Fixit 1969 game that I'm running. Like I said, it's where I went to 1969 in a game that I had played before and said, how can I try to clean this up and maybe make it even more profitable than before? Right now, not doing as well. I am tempted to take and save and go take a peek at what would be the closest to it in the original setup. That's something for down the road. I'm also trying to think about other things I can do to slowly but surely clean up and speed up everything. Do have a higher speed rail on right now for the Ashlock and Malahfield train, and that's one that I really wish I could take and do. Did get a new speed record out of one of the trains that I dispatched last time. It was running at 121.6 kilometers per hour. And for considering which train that was, that's a different setup than what I would think. It is time to also start thinking about expanding the yard at Dudsworth Smelting and letting it slowly but surely get bigger trains and faster trains serving it. Matter of fact, that's something I am seriously considering. I'm also seriously considering doing the shift at a further over point and then the climb up to here for the main line so that I can clean up this a little bit, not have it do this big dip down before we pitch out into the yard for that terminal. Like I said, I'm considering. I'm not really sold on that idea. One thing I'm definitely considering is pulling this line in a little bit tighter. It would mean a tighter turn here into this and also to the new spot down here. but it would let us expand outward this way without having to relocate the passenger services back here. Things we have to consider. I was thinking about a signal there for the moment, but where we're getting ready to take and touch this yard, I think we'll hold off. See what we can actually build. Just looking things over, seeing what may or may not need some expansions. Everybody's looking pretty good at the moment. Um, Pauling Field is growing quite well, and I wouldn't be surprised if Pauling Field has become a site that I need to consider bringing up a new rail line onto, and maybe even changing how my rail service goes for passenger service, stripping it out of that combination yard of cargo and passenger into a simple freight yard and a passenger station separate. Lots of things to consider. Lots of things to consider. And part of what we're considering is we are cleaning things up a little bit, making things look a little bit smoother in the spots that need a little bit of smoothing. Not everything can, of course, be smoothed out perfectly, but down the road we may be able to take and do some changes to things that will let us do such a change. There we go. That made that section look a little better. And let's go along here and do the same there. Get some ramp sloping along the side of that. At some point I'm going to have to take even these guys out so that they are in the right spots. And consider what else can be done to take and make other things run a lot smoother. I am going to upgrade the gravel road here. I think going up to cobblestones at 70 kilometers an hour. I mean, I've got that oil tanker truck there. Let's see what he is. He is a capable of what? The SMP tanker capable of 80. So I need something that gets closer to 80 kilometers an hour. 70 would be straight cobblestones for 27.20 versus $32 a month, and I can run up to 130 kilometers an hour, but not many of my cargo vehicles go that speed. I did say, though, it is time to start considering how to get some power moved around. Let's do that first today. I know I'm all over the place. Not exactly all here today. So we're going to take and run a line out to about here. We'll have to do some landscaping to get it to other places. But one of the places I kind of want to get service into electrically is here at the construction wholesaler, because construction wholesaler, when you look at what he uses for his demand in electricity, 23 units may not seem like much, but that'll also get us one step closer to being able to connect up the two grids. And the closest spot for doing that off of is right there. So let's go ahead and start moving this line this way to begin allowing down the road, or right now really, a connection up. And that connection point will be right there. take out that guy. Do a little bit of fancy electrical work, and then what's the quickest way to get those? So now we've connected two of the grids. So the trash grid and the other grid have connected up. We haven't connected the fourth grid line, or the third grid line, which is this trash incinerator plant. But we have both of the other two plants running onto it, which is a good thing now, because now with 3 plants onto it, it should increase the demand for trash from those trash places. And down the road, maybe we can do multiple trains from the scrap yards. Multiple faster or slower trains, utilizing even more cars. Looking at our lines, we've got a whole lot of obsoletes. And that is something maybe I should think about looking into. See, down here in lists, under my vehicles, one of the settings I can look at is obsolete vehicles. Turn on that special filter. I have a whole line of obsolete vehicles. I've got Icaruses and Empires, buses that died in the 30s and 50s, still dispatched out. I even have Stoles. They died in like 2 years into the game. And it might be time, especially for the red line ones, to say, hey, let's put something a lot better on. So, looking at the 83 line first, vehicle list, he's only got the one vehicle on him. His station list is pretty long. So let's try putting a faster bus onto that. And Ashstead is this one, so he will dispatch from Old Scratch. Oh, I got too many windows opening in. There we go. We can put the $1.95 bus onto that. And we're looking to put him on the 83 line. '83 Ashstead, North Stole, which is pretty much a deadline, but by putting this out there now, hopefully we can get some encouragement towards growth. And we can tell this guy to go ahead and retire out in the field, get the money back. What's another good line to take a peek at? Well, again, back into that. We're still using those settings, so that's good. And I want to sort it by income with these guys up here. So let's go through. We're going to eliminate definitely all of our Stoles. This guy, also in Ashstead, 2 of them on the station shuttle, probably running too close together. So this guy, just retire. He's empty anyway. The other guy on the Ashstead Railroad shuttle, Avenue shuttle, I think we can consider doing something else with. So let's consider doing this. Type. There we go. Station Shuttle 81. So let's put this in. We're going to launch one onto Route 81. Get him launched so he's on his way, and then go in and eliminate the problem maker by telling him retire when empty. Taking that down to 1 should clean up, and it's a bigger bus so he can handle more passengers. Next up, we got the Ashstead Railroad Avenue shuttle. While he's carrying passengers and such, we've already retired him. Let's go ahead and see, do we have a line on him?